Hello and welcome.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to The Mark Show. It is, what's the date again? Friday, April 28th. That's correct. I have Kelly Fraser sitting in the podcast studio today. Hello, Kelly.
Hello, Mark. Hanupi. How are you?
I am very well. Now, we just had an exciting encounter at the coffee
we did.
shop. Would you like to tell listeners what happened?
So I came to Mark's house and I was like, I need a coffee. So he said there's a great coffee place a couple doors down.
Extra butter coffee.
Yeah, and we went there and a lady in front of me was ordering and then I ordered and I had to put milk and sugar in my coffee and there's this blonde lady in front of me and I'm like, excuse me, like, may I, like, lean over, get some stir sticks? I don't want to be intrusive. She's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, and I was stirring my stuff, and she abruptly leaves, and I spill my coffee. I'm like, oops, and I wipe it all up, and then Mark says, yeah, that was Serena Ryder. And I'm like, oh, my God, I could ask for a selfie. But the thing is, just like Mark said, like, in Toronto, you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable or like they're always around here. They live here, so
Right.
I'm really glad that he told me only after, or else I would have lost my shit and be like, "Oh my God, like I'm one of your big fans. I listen to you every day."
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought I would let her enjoy her coffee.
Yes,
in
that's
private.
That is a good idea. I'm right now. I'm like radiating.
But there's actually a lot of, famous musicians that live in the neighborhood. Daniel Lanois' place is just up the street there.
Yeah.
His studio, I see him every now and then around the neighborhood, as well as a bunch of other people. And of course, Arthur Renwick just lives up the street there, and there's a whole bunch of other, cool cats in the hood.
Yeah.
Including
Yeah.
myself.
Well,
It's a great neighborhood.
I'm glad that I didn't embarrass myself. I'm
Well, that's
glad
good.
I was like, oh, I don't want to be intrusive.
I'm sure she gets that all the time.
Yeah.
But, I just thought, it's probably her first cup of coffee of the day, so I thought, let's just let her, settle into the day. It's still relatively early for some people. And I'm just checking to see if people have wrote in, commenting on that experience. Yes, which I noticed you just posted online, and some people are. So you had your release here in Toronto. So why don't you tell listeners that aren't familiar with you, where you're from, and a little bit of your backstory.
Yes, so my name is Kelly Fraser. I'm from Sanikilok, Nunavut, which is a little island, Belcher Islands in the middle of Hudson Bay. Not geographically close to Nunavut, actually close to the north of Quebec, but we are part of the Nunavut land claim. I am from a town of 1,000 people. We speak fluently in my language, Inuktitut, and I have translated songs, pop songs into my language, and I write my own. And I have a second album that just came out April 25 called Sedna, and I'm very proud of it. Nuliayuk, which is the correct name for her. This album is in my language. It's in English, and I could have made an all Inuktitut album, but there's many Inuit that don't speak the language, and I also want to educate Canadians on, the world really, on the way we live. And this whole album is about my identity, about how proud I am of my culture, about the social issues, as we have many. One of them is suicide. So I have a song called Stay Strong. There's one about being in an unhealthy relationship, which is called Crazy. And then there are fun dance songs like Sedna, who is...
It's very dancey, that too.
Yes, and she's the goddess that Inuit believed in before Christian missionaries came. And I feel like there's a lot of Inuit revitalization going on with our culture, and I believe that I should reflect that in my music. And one of them is everything that we did was to honor Sedna. And
Right.
that's to get the tattoos, to drum dance, to throat sing.
Do you have any tattoos?
No, but there is
Because in
only
this neighborhood, you pretty much have to have a tattoo. I think it's required under city ordinance.
so the why they get tattoos is only when they accomplish something in their life. So when I have accomplished something like get married or get children or even maybe get a Juno,
Well, but you do
I
have
want-
quite the accomplishments, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago. That you do translations of famous songs. Now, you did "Diamonds," I believe, by
Yes.
Rihanna, and I checked last night on YouTube, and you had like over 226,000 views. So I would say
Yes.
that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, but I need something bigger.
Something bigger than 226,000. So it's 226,961.
Yeah, and I read
views.
the comments the other day, and the comments range from like "you suck," "ew" to
I get that all
marry,
the time. People tell me that on the
marry
street. I'll just be
me.
walking on the street and like, you suck.
And then there's like "marry me," "I'll come up there." It's like it's hilarious. I really enjoy reading the comments. I enjoy
Right.
even reading the negative ones. I'm
Sometimes
like,
that's the best part, reading the
the
negative
best
comments, because
part.
they're all funny.
Yeah, it's like why bother? And,
I know.
But they bother because it's significant, and if it's significant, that means you're doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday, you did the CD release here in Toronto, and where was that at?
Oh, I didn't. Today is the day.
Oh, today's the day,
Yeah,
right?
I
okay.
just got
I see.
in last night.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah.
But the record came out on Tuesday.
Yes, it did.
On
and
iTunes,
it's on Spotify,
Spotify,
on
it's-
Google Play.
Okay, so it's,
on all the hottest
all the online-
gadgets.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Because I have all the hottest gadgets. Well, I don't. I just have this computer I'm recording the show on. But okay, and so where is the actual performance happening?
It's at the Center of Social Innovation. It's at 192 Spadina Avenue, and I'm probably not saying it right.
Spadina.
Spadina.
No, it's not. It's not incorrect actually.
Yeah.
There's lots of pronunciations of that name.
Yeah.
Spadina. And that's tonight at what time?
At 6 to 9. I start at 7. It's $10 at the door.
Okay.
Yeah, and for Inuit, it will be free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And so how did you get started on this path of music?
So when I was 11 years old, I watched this movie called Freaky Friday,
Oh,
and
Freaky
Lindsay Lohan was
Oh,
playing
right.
the guitar and the electric guitar, and I was very intrigued. And I went home that day from my friend's house, and I told my parents, I want a guitar. Like, you both have jobs. I know you can buy me a guitar. And they're like, well, we don't want to like spoil our children. So they told me, you have to
Okay.
practice. You'll have to go to these after school guitar lesson sessions with a science teacher, because where I'm from, there's not a lot of professionals that,
Right.
just specifically give out music lessons.
Right,
so
right.
so I started going, and I learned stuff like Michael rowed the boat ashore, some Johnny Cash songs,
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of folksy music, and
Right.
a lot of church music.
Okay.
I grew up that way, and so that's how I started. And I joined a band at 15, and I played bass and I sang, and
I saw
we
the
wrote.
photos. There's photos on Facebook where you're playing bass. Thunderbird bass, right?
Yeah, and so that's when I made my original music. Isuma was a well-known song around the Inuit communities. And then when Diamonds came out when I was in college, the second year of college, I was 19 years old, and that stuff just blew up. I just did it for a Inuktitut class, a class in our language, and where I'm from, we're very fluent, and I've always translated old songs. Like
Right.
I've already translated songs like Proud Mary, like CCR songs, a other and Johnny Cash songs. I've translated some church music.
Right.
Yeah, Elvis.
Elvis, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and it made no it was just doing some other translation at home, but
Right.
no, people went nuts over the pop music.
Yeah, well, I noticed. I was also looking around on SoundCloud, and you have a tune on there, "Fight for the Rights." Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And that's got thousands of plays as well. So, what's the story behind that song?
So in my territory in Nunavut, we have a land claim, and in the agreement it says that we have to have a vote whether or not we want to sell municipal land. And right now we only have 99-year leases. For example, my mother owns a house, and she has like 79 years left or something, and it's a lot to pay for the land, and we Inuit aren't given free land. Actually, a lot of Inuit live on social housing. A lot of them are on income support because we've just lived off the land only 60 years ago. Like we've been relocated with the RCMP killing our dogs, kayaks being wrecked, and
Right.
people being forced to walk hundreds of miles to this new settlement, and children got taken away to residential school. My mother was one of them, and so there's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot of pain in our people. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, the story behind "Fight."
Oh,
for the
okay.
Rights,
So,
yes.
fight for the rights. We have a land claim.
So that happens on the show. We'll just forget about what we're talking about. Sorry, continue.
So, in the 1969, Inuit came together and they said, we need to make these land claims, or else the government will just, mine the land without cleaning it up properly. So they stood up for their rights, and thankfully 1993 got signed, the Nunavut Land Claims Agreement, and in 1999 it became official. And so 23 years later, I'm actually 23.
Are
That's
you?
funny, yeah.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so when it was signed, I was born.
Right.
So I feel a significance with the land claim. There was a vote to sell municipal land, and seeing that the Inuit people, my people, they only make, they don't make a lot of money. There's a gap between the non-Inuit and the Inuit that live in Nunavut, and they make 20,000 more. The non-Inuit do. Those are people, and so when you work with those numbers, statistically, Inuit will not be buying the municipal land, will not be taking control. We don't believe in owning land.
Right, because you talk about in the
Individually?
lyrics of that song as well.
Yeah,
Right.
Inuit are very sharing
Right.
people. We think collectively instead of individually, and
Right.
I feel like that is what makes me different from a lot of people. Is
Right.
I can't hate people. I can't be selfish. I pride myself in sharing and doing as much as I can to help other people, no matter what they've done to me. And it's I have limits, but in general, I'm just trying to be a good person, and that's how we are. And thankfully, after that song I felt a great need to write that song, because people won't read the newspaper. People won't, especially Inuit. We're like, well, but Inuit will turn on the radio. They will listen to a song, and
Will they listen to this podcast?
well, I'm hoping other people will, because been interviewed a lot up north. I'm sure they're listening to me right now.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I decided I need to write a song, fight for the rights.
Well,
And
it's a great track.
yeah,
I think I listened to that like 100 times, and the production is killer behind it.
I have a little story to tell you
Sure.
about that song. So coincidentally, I was asked to go to Iqaluit for a suicide prevention conference.
Mm-hmm.
And that week, I worked with my producer who lived in Iqaluit.
And who's the producer?
Thor Simonsen.
Okay.
This a man from Denmark. He grew up in Nunavut. His
Mm-hmm.
mother was is a sealskin designer there in Nunavut, and so he knows how it feels to grow up in the
Right.
north. And so anyway, we had a perfect time to work together. It was 1 week before the vote. I was battling a lot with trying to educate people about it and trying to get my driver's license at the same time.
Okay, right.
Going to this
Well,
conference.
that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah. And when I came back and I was done the song, I was having nightmares of being raped. I'd never had these kind of nightmares. And I went home and I was at a friend's house, and they're elderly people. I have a lot of elder friends.
Right.
And two women there, I played the song and I was crying. I was like sobbing. I'm like worried. Tomorrow's the vote. I hope they know better to vote no. And when the song was done, this wide open cabinet just shut itself. It like no wind was in.
Right.
It was a nice day, and it slammed. And one of my friends, Kika, she said, "Thank you for showing us your." And so I believe that my ancestors are always with me, and they're always trying to help, and they show me you're not alone. And it feels amazing when I get those small little like it could have been nothing, but I know it was. They were saying, "I'm here. It'll be fine." And the next day, they all voted no.
Excellent. Wow.
And we have another 5 years, and I hope
That's
people.
great. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want young people, especially, they're the ones who are gonna have the power.
Right.
They're the one. I'm just hoping that they'll know that they have a right to vote, that they need to do that.
So do you see the youth up there getting more actively engaged in what's happening in the community and politics?
In my community, I see a lot of young people volunteer. I see a lot of them band together and help collectively people that really need help. And I've always grown up trying to make a difference, and then as a girl playing guitar, making music, performing it, dancing, I see more and more young people doing that as well, and I see myself as a beacon of hope. I see myself as someone who's gonna make a change, not afraid to talk about college or birth control or anything. Like I'm always open, and I tell them, like, if you're feeling down, just talk to me. And so
Absolutely. Well, you can see I'm very open on the internet as well. I discuss all sorts of things. So do you think, since you're very, engaged, politically in your community, do you see politics in your future?
Yes, I do. And right now, I
So
hold
it'll be
workshops.
Prime Minister Fraser will be calling you in the future?
I wouldn't want to go up that far. But I believe I have an important voice in my community and in Nunavut and beyond. I hold workshops doing motivational speeches, and I help the young people make songs in their language, because I believe if we make as many songs as we can, if we talk as much as we can, record it, translate songs, that is the way we're gonna save our language. Inuktitut is one of the three that's one of the languages that will survive in Canada. And I believe we have to do everything we can. And I want to inspire other Indigenous people to go learn their language, to, if they can, if they have the resource. If you can't, I'll understand, because not everyone is given the gifts that I was blessed with. And I don't try to shame people, because shaming people just kills their spirit, and I don't believe in that.
Right. Well, we should have you on our show. There's another topic I've been trying to get going on online. In the future, we'll have you a guest on that. So, just getting back to saving, language and culture. Before we started the show, I noticed you were working on something.
Yes. So tonight's show, I'm gonna perform, and I always wear a dress and some heels, and I have these sealskin boots. And I was thinking, okay, I need a nice dress that showcases sealskin as well. And so I'm currently working on putting a piece of sealskin on the top of my dress. And this is a dress that my best friend gave me from Sanikiloak. She just had a baby. That's my godson. I just dressed him recently. She means a lot to me, so putting seal and a gift from my best friend really just, it gives a part of my identity.
Right. So
Yeah.
what do you say to those people that are against the seal hunt? There's a lot of protests, especially now online. They went after, Tanya Tagak and some other people. So what do you say to those people? What are your views on that?
I say to those people, you should research on how your people are surviving. Mass factory farming is probably one of the most horrid things I've ever seen. The animals are getting tortured. We Inuit and Newfoundlanders, we have respect for the seal. We want the seal to die as soon as it can, and the seals are not endangered. They are actually overeating the cod.
That's right.
So
that's a fact a lot of people don't know, and that's being, I think, kept hidden from the public too, right?
And I believe that they're just trying to make a lot of money by playing on Canadians' emotions, because we are not in a subsistence hunting lifestyle. We are going to the store. We don't know how the chicken feels when it is getting killed. We're not in farms anymore, and this is where there's
there's a lack of understanding between right.
Yeah, and I believe that the people that are like the big PETA, IFA, Sea Shepherd, they know the facts.
Right.
They're playing on people's emotions, playing on the small little white seal. We don't kill white seals. We kill seals, the adult ones. We kill them as soon as we can, and we even put water in their mouth so that they won't be thirsty in the afterlife. When you have such a strong and spiritual connection with an animal like that, like, we don't see it as cruel. And actually, we see those people marching around. They're cruel. They're actually killing our people, our culture. Since the 80s, suicide rates went way up high. As much as the seal costs went down,
right.
they went high. And my uncles would tell me stories. They would have machines to go hunting with, gas money, food they could provide for their family. When the seal cost went down, so did their spirits. They felt they didn't feel good about themselves. They didn't feel like they can hunt, and they couldn't pass on because they couldn't pass on the tools because we don't have the sleds anymore. We don't have the dogs anymore. They're taken away from us. We can only use the machines. They told us to. The government did. So when you deal with something like that, it's hard because with income support, you can't buy bullets, food, and gas and a machine. Like, you just can't. And so I'm very angry at these people. And I'm like, instead of being super angry, I'm singing about it. And I hope more Canadians know Justin Trudeau did a very good thing by um, putting money to for us to be able to have that economy, and seal is perfectly fine. It's nice leather, nice. It's beautiful.
Well, your outfit, I can just tell by now. I know you're not finished it. I think that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to see the finished product. You're going to post pictures.
Yeah,
later?
I will post pictures. I'm very proud of my culture. I'm proud I can sew with sealskin. I can make mitts. I can make. I think I can
so
make
I should
anything.
give you my sizes then. My feet are. So you mentioned you drove here.
Yes.
All the way across the country.
From BC, yep.
And that took you 40 hours.
43, yes.
43, sorry.
Yeah.
And you did most of that alone, or you had someone with you?
Well,
a co-pilot?
from BC to Winnipeg, I had another artist. She came with me, and we took turns.
Okay.
And then I went home to Sandy Kiluak for 1 week, and then I headed back to Winnipeg. I spent the weekend with my sister and her family, and then I drove off to Thunder Bay that night.
Oh, Thunder
Sunday
Bay,
night.
my hometown. How was Thunder Bay?
It's
Snowy?
It
I
was
heard they get a lot of
snowy.
snow there, yeah.
Yes, lots of snow. As I came in 1 hour before I arrived, the snow came down like crazy, and I was like, am I gonna survive? But thankfully, everything went fine. The rest of the ride was smooth. Went to Sault Ste. Marie, went to Midland, spent
Midland, right.
Spent time with some friends and family.
We played a
on the
show
way.
up in Midland years ago, I remember. It was a nice community. Even the mayor came out to the show.
It's that small, yeah.
So how long are you going to be in the GTA for before you head back?
I'm leaving tomorrow to Montreal, and then May
Is it another
1.
performance you have in Montreal?
No, I'm just spending
You're
time
just hanging
there.
out, all right.
Yeah,
Well, it's a good
hopefully
place to hang
soon.
out.
Hopefully soon. I have many friends and managers that have a bar, so I'll hopefully get a show there soon.
Great.
And in Ottawa, I'll be living there.
Okay, and when are you going to be moving to Ottawa?
May 1. I already paid my rent.
Oh, okay. Whereabouts are you going to be? Just out
Near
of curiosity.
Saint Laurent area,
Oh, okay.
the mall, near the mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ottawa's nice. You know, I like visiting Ottawa.
Yeah.
We try to go there like once a year, just for like a quick sort of long weekend like vacation. I don't know why we picked that spot, but anyways, we just go there because it's relatively
beautiful.
close, and it is beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the people there
And the
are...
market with all the great things to eat. I think that's why I go. There's a lot of good things to eat there.
That's the first city that I've ever lived at.
Okay.
And I've never had any negative times there. And then I moved to Winnipeg, then I moved to BC, and I realized people are racist.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is. I find as soon as you go west of Toronto, it's racism really reveals its ugly head, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
and
that's just my personal experience. I'm sure other people may not have that, but you've noticed it. You mentioned those towns
so
as well,
like
right?
I was 2 hours from Thunder Bay, and I was just looking for a napkin because I just put oil in my car, and I'm not in the way. I was in the middle where the gas nozzle and the garbage bag is.
Sure.
The garbage bin, and
Okay.
I'm just leaning, and some guy honks his horn, and I look, and I'm like, I know I'm not in the way, and he looks at me as if I've killed his whole family. And I'm like, I smile at him because I'm like showing him, oh, I'm not a threat. I'm a good
Right.
person.
Well,
like,
you don't look very threatening unless you know like Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something.
No, I don't. And I smiled at him, and he just kept looking at me like that. And then went in my car, and I'm driving away, and he's putting gas in his car, and he's looking at me like I'm the worst person in the world. And I'm wondering, like, what in the heck what brings people to feel like another group of people is lesser because we're the same we're the same kind of people. We
Exactly.
eat, we poo,
That's
we
right. And do I ever?
and like I don't understand it, and I will do everything I can to tell people, hey, we Inuit, we're suffering people. We're suffer for you. We want to live, traditionally. We couldn't, and that's because the government wanted us to be Canadians, so that that land, which they're gonna mine and they're gonna
Right.
make money off of,
Right, right.
for a better life for you,
That's
you
right.
Canadians.
Exactly.
Like,
Canadians forget a lot of these things. I think a lot of Canadians just don't know the facts about
we're
what's really happening.
we're the walking around like Jesuses.
Oh, yeah. That's
We're
right.
the PTSD Jesuses.
There's a song in there somewhere. PTSD Jesuses. That's copywritten right now on this show. No one can use it. So maybe set up. You're going to do a song for us. Maybe set up what song you're going to do.
Yes, so I'm going to do my song "Looking for a Seal" because I brought in my outfit that I'm sewing. I love sealskin. I love hunting for seal. I love the land. I grew up on a boat. I grew up, I didn't grow up with my immediate family doing that, but I grew up with my best friend's family doing that. And my mother would often tell me, oh, you should go. They want you to come to help. And so I've never really shot and killed anything, but I've always helped, cut it up and bring in the seal from out of the water. And yeah.
Well, if you need any help eating it, I'm your guy.
Awesome. It's a really good, it has very rich nutrients, and you can taste it. And we even eat it right when it's killed. Mm-hmm. We eat it raw. We drink the blood, and it'll keep you very, very warm. It's better than any of the food that you buy at the store.
Absolutely.
You will. There's been research showing that this kind of food puts extra brown fat in, and brown fat, when you're in hunger or when you're cold, that keeps you warm and it keeps you healthy. It keeps you fed.
Right. Well, I'm trying to lose a lot of that fat, so maybe I'll stay off the seal diet for now. Great. So the name of the song again is called?
It's called, what is it called? Looking for a Seal.
Great. So here's Kelly Fraser.
Leave us alone. We're looking for a seal for our family's meal, so we can stay warm. We can't afford the food at the store. What are we supposed to do? We're looking for a seal. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. Natini khinipunga puno ilaga nirine mata. Atune mata nat sibini khitingani inui u khosini takwa tusasuka take too many khiti ni vita ragonesti khaluna no khanang mata makhaisu nginapu inu nginapu. We're looking for a seal for our family's meal, so we can stay warm. We can't afford the food at the store. What are we supposed to do? We're looking for a seal. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. Please leave us alone. We're looking for a seal. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. I love my culture, I love my food, I love the way we show gratitude. The fearless hunter on the ice, taking aim, so precise. The only way to get food tonight. Why do we always have to fight for the right to hunt, for the right to sell? Since the 80s when the prices fell, activists getting all the pay. So listen to me when I say the sealskin ban is just a scam. That's what I want you to understand. We're looking for a family's meal so we can stay warm. We can't afford the food at the store. What are we supposed to do? We're looking for a seal. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. Leave us alone. Please leave us alone. We're looking for a seal. Please leave us alone.